Hi, everyone. I have the great job and pleasure of actually introducing this next panel of energy superheroes. They're going to be talking about reliably inspiring the energy future. So, now that is going to be very interesting. Let me introduce you to our first panelist. And we have Erin with us, Erin Twamley. She's an author and an educator of STEM superheroes. She's going to be helping us to moderate this panel this morning. She helped with the book and putting it together. And next we have J- Jennifer Hill.
Hi.
Jennifer Hill is a senior operator with OEG Energy Corp. And she actually just finished working a night shift. She works at the power plant. So very interesting. Thank you for doing that, Jennifer.
Mhm.
We all have lights now. We have Lana Norton coming in as well. Lana is the executive director and founder of Women of Powerline Technicians. Oh boy, I'm in with everybody here now today. And we have Kathy joining us. Hi, Kathy. Kathy,
Hi.
Kathy is the co-founder and president of Dandelion. Now, amazing group so far. We have one more person just getting into the session here. We have Gulnaz Afzal. She's a quality engineer at Rivian Automotive. So she's going to be coming in a little bit with us. But this is the panel here that's going to reliably inspire us into the energy future. And they're all featured in the book, Woman in Energy. So I'm going to let Erin talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to give Erin the floor.
Thank you so much for having us. We are very excited to be part of the Lubrication and Reliability Virtual Summit to be talking about how we can inspire the future workforce. I apologize. I'm losing my voice a little bit, so bear with me. But my superheroes and trailblazers, these are all real women who are going to share their experiences working in the field and talk a little bit about how we might inspire the future workforce. I think many of us know that we need an energy workforce and that we need to change what that energy workforce looks like. So, whether you're in coal, gas, nuclear, solar, or wind, there are tons of opportunities for women to join, whether they're technicians in the field or in offices supporting finance, real estate, and lots of other energy jobs. So today's panel discussion is to hear from women who've been in the energy industry, many from for many years, some who work in oil and gas sector, some who work on the renewable side, and many who are active in recruiting and helping to mentor the next generation of energy superheroes. So what I wanted to do today is have them introduce themselves, but share specifically a little bit about why you got into your own energy career path and where you are today before we deep dive. And Kathy, I'll start with you.
Great. Thank you, Erin. My name is Kathy Hannun. I'm co-founder and president at a company called Dandelion Energy, and we install geothermal heating and cooling systems in homes. So these are systems that replace a home's furnace or boiler or air conditioner with a renewable geothermal heat pump. And I've been in the field for about 5 years. I started the company in the spring of 2017, more or less as an outsider. I have to admit that I did not have a lot of prior experience in energy, but I did have a love of science and really an interest in the field, mostly because it's just so fundamental to civilization. I know that sounds very lofty, but I think it's true. I mean, energy is something that underpins almost everything about how our quality of life today. It's fundamental, but of course, how we provide energy to homes and everything else has a huge implication for, the livability of the planet in the future. So that's what got me really intrigued, and I saw an opportunity to change the way we do heating and cooling in homes that I was really interested in going after.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Gulnaz, we'll go to you next.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gulaaz Afzal. I'm a master's and bachelor's in aerospace engineering, and my research in aerospace engineering when I was doing my grad school, that's what my introduction to energy, specifically to hybrid electric vehicles and um, self-driving starting. So right now, I'm pursuing my career in the automotive, in the self-driving arena, where the autonomous vehicle space. So in my grad school, where I was doing my research, that's when I realized the passion and the scope of self-driving as well as the electric vehicles. And then from there I transitioned to the automotive industry, and right now in the automotive industry working for companies which are doing autonomous technology as well as the self-drive autonomous technology as well as the electric electric vehicle talking on. We've been having electric vehicles for a while now, and but I think the self-driving space is also up and coming, and I really am very passionate about these two different technologies and how they're clubbing together to make life as well as more convenient. And when you talk about self-driving, it's definitely helping people to have safer and more fun experience of driving. So my role as a quality engineer is finding out the issues. So being the first person, the first line of defense to find issues in different vehicles, which with self-driving technology, which have issues, and then finding those issues and then making sure that they are resolved. So the entire process of finding issues, root causing them, and finally, resolving them. So it's a very fun time to be in this industry, and I find myself to be very fortunate to be working in this industry right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Lana.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Lana Norton. I'm the Executive Director and founder of Women of Powerline Technicians. I've been in the industry for approximately 12 years now. I first started out as an apprentice Powerline technician with a distribution company. And over the last 12 years, I've held several different roles within the trade and technical roles. Currently, by day, I am also a supervisor of the metering department. Women of Powerline Technicians is a national not-for-profit whose mission it is to have women as equal participants in trade and technical roles in every distribution company. Thank you.
Thank you. And Jennifer Hill, who's joining us after the night shift. Thank you so much for being here with us, Jennifer, and sharing your insights.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Hill. I've been in the energy industry for about 22 years. I started with ConocoPhillips in research and development, and then 16 years ago, I transitioned into the utility electric side. So I am currently a senior operator at the Muskogee power plant. We've got about 1,400 megawatts of potential power that we make. We're hybrid. One of our units is coal. We've got 2 gas units, and so it's kind of funny that I ended up where I did because when I was a Girl Scout about 9 years old, I actually toured the power plant that I currently work at. So life has kind of come full circle for me, I guess.
Awesome. I love that. Well, thank you all so much, esteemed panelists, for being here to share your stories. So I'm going to start off with Kathy today because I'm curious about really workers who are in this transition, right? You're working with both consumers and a workforce who's used to getting their heat source from natural gas, but you're actually helping to install geothermal systems in a lot of the New England area of the United States. So if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about what that transition of a workforce looks like from your perspective and experience with Dandelion, I think we'd love to hear that.
Absolutely. Thanks, Erin. Well, the first thing I'll say is that there really isn't much of a workforce yet today that's well trained in home geothermal systems. So almost everyone we hire is coming from a different industry. And that's true both of the people that are installing the systems and all the people that sit at desks and, sell the systems or do the accounting or whatever it is that needs to happen to make the business run. So there's, I would say, 2 main types of workforce that we need to get geothermal systems installed in the field. One is you have people who drill to put the ground loops in the ground. These are 1.25 inch plastic pipes that go anywhere from 300 to 500 feet deep into the yard. So it's like thin holes, but like quite deep. We started by trying to recruit water well drillers, but there really aren't that many water well drillers, and it's not exactly the same type of drill or type of business. So we've opened up our aperture a bit, and it's a great career path for people who don't mind working with drills and working outside and like having that lifestyle. It's quite well paid, and we're really having to train a lot of that workforce from the ground up, which is good. We are also taking people from oil and gas, people from water well, people from environmental drilling. There are lots of different types of drilling, and it's not exactly the same, but those skills are very transferable. Then we have the people in the house actually putting that heat pump in where the furnace was. It's not that different than installing an air conditioner. It's a little bit different, but not that different. So I think the whole HVAC industry right now is having to undergo the process of learning about heat pump installation, and we're very much part of that trend. And then I'll end it soon so we can hear from the other panelists. But the last piece is, I think Dandelion as a company has really benefited from the fact that we've hired people from solar, from consumer tech, from just like so many different types of companies that aren't geothermal. And because we've gotten such a diversity of experience of how different companies are run that are analogous to ours but not the same, it's really helped us figure out how should we be running a scaled home geothermal company, because there aren't that many right now. So we're really having to figure it out as we go along.
Awesome. Thank you. So I want to turn it to Lana a little bit, because I know the work that you do is about not only just recruitment to get into the trades and training workforce, but to retain people in the trades. So could you just share a little bit about what are some of the challenges you're seeing to recruit, especially females in these traditionally male-dominated fields, and how your organization is working and striving to overcome some of those challenges?
Sure. So thanks, Erin. Some of the challenges that we first see in engaging women in this type of work, and this is why partnering with STEM superheroes was so important to us, is because the first barrier that you need to overcome is actually convincing women and enabling them and their families to see themselves in these energy careers. Typically in the past, when we think of a Powerline technician, we think of a lineman, we think of somebody of a specific body type and skill set. And we have this image of, that it's going to be really tough and it's going to be on the road and you're going to be at heights. And although all of those things are true, we need to start breaking down and having those conversations at home, in our workplace, in society, because women are able to rise to this challenge and find that job, just as equally rewarding. So, the way that we engage and talk about things, overcoming that social barrier of what we perceive it to actually be is the first hurdle that we need to overcome. Sorry, Erin, your second part of the question was?
I just wanted to know if there were specific strategies or things that Women of Powerline Technicians is using, right? I think our partnership is one example, but are there other strategies or ways that you're finding are successful to recruit women into the trades?
Absolutely. So through Women of Powerline Technicians, we have different programming, and our programming extends to mentoring. We have 3 different mentoring packages that we make available to women, which include things as a resume review, because and I'll kind of break down, the initial kind of steps, but initially when we're trying to have women engage, what we see is that they may not have a strong resume with a background in the trades, or they may be hesitant to put on some skill sets. So by having somebody as a sounding board to say, like, should I put my volunteer firefighter work, on my resume? Do you think that will assist? And kind of moving me through the interview process. So we're able to have those conversations, right? Because being able to demonstrate your awareness and your adaptability for working outside in all weather conditions really does kind of put you onto the short list of an applicant pool. Also through Women of PLT, we have something called nuts and bolts under our mentoring. And that is the initial barriers, Erin, that help women kind of get engaged and ask those initial questions about, how would I enroll in an apprenticeship and how would I find an apprenticeship sponsor? And we also have something called our 24/7 peer group, which is access to other women currently working in the trade. And so through providing like no barrier to entry and allowing women to engage and ask those early questions, they're able to decide if this is something that they would like to pursue. And then through Women of PLT, we do have other programming, networking events and bursaries that we're able to connect women with. And we also have an Illuminate blog, and those help support women at all stages of their career. We're looking to support women in early, mid, and then late careers in the trade and technical roles. But having those, early indicators to help kind of point women on the right path is what we're doing.
I love that. Thank you so much. It sounds like not only is it mentorship for the current workforce that we're needing, but we're also needing to kind of inspire and tell women about these opportunities and actually share what the day-to-day are, which I think is really important, which is why we have you women sharing your stories today so that other people can get inspired by such stories. Jennifer, I know you are at a power plant that you toured as a Girl Scout, which is a fantastic story in and of itself. I was wondering if you've had any female mentors in your career journey or any kind of insights that have helped you in your over 20 plus career.
Yeah, there initially I was pretty green when I started at ConocoPhillips. I was fresh out of college, and there was a woman that worked there named Susan Gates, and she ruled the roost. She was so highly organized, so highly respected by everyone, and she really showed me, what leadership looked like. She didn't have a technical title as a leader. She wasn't in supervision, but she was a leader. And when I transitioned over to the power plant, we don't have very many women that work there. And I'm the only female operator currently at my power plant. So it initially was a little bit of a culture shock for me because at ConocoPhillips, we were about 40% female in my department. So, it takes a little while to build street cred. And then there were some practicalities that, anybody that may be in leadership needs to think about to make it a little more hospitable for women. There weren't very many women's bathrooms available. We have to wear flame retardant clothing, and initially the selections were very limited for women. And I'm happy to say that now they even have maternity coveralls or maternity overalls in FR that are available to people in our in our industry. So some of the other things that you have to learn how to communicate, because men and women tend to communicate differently. Women are generally a little bit more intuitive, and the thing I've learned is people can't read your mind. and I know that sounds so simple, but you have to learn to address things directly and to come about it in a way that makes your intentions clear. So I'm thrilled to be part of the energy superhero family, and I hope that we encourage more women to get into the power plant industry, because I feel like the diversity of skills and the diversity of thought that women bring to the table, I've had to find my niche, where I may not be as strong and I'm not as tall. I'm 5'2", so there's a lot I can't reach, but I can fill the gap somewhere else. And I feel like developing symbiotic relationships are very important. So
Great. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I think being honest about those insights and your experiences are important too, so that we can make changes, right? Whether we're in the workforce or we're an employer, there's some small things you might not be thinking about as the workforce transitions. Now, Gulnaz, I want to come to you because I think you're in one of the hottest industries right now, especially if you're a young kid, right? They're excited about electric vehicles. They're excited about self-driving vehicles, right? So it might seem like it might be easier to attract that future workforce into the electric vehicle space. Can you just share a little bit some of your insights or advice that you have coming from the electric vehicle industry of, maybe what's worked for you as you've gone into the industry and how you think the industry will attract future workforce? Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I was
There you
muted.
go.
Thank you so much, Erin, for the question. Yes, absolutely. It's one of the hottest, industries at this, point. And people are, I think, we've had electric vehicles for a while, and a self-driving space is like kind of like also coming in. So the collaboration of electric vehicles as well as self-driving tech in vehicles is like really having a moment. The great thing is that on one side, you've got, the automotive space where we are, I mean, the regular vehicles, the customer vehicles that you have, where you've got like, so in self-driving, you've got different levels of autonomy, and you've got the level 2, they're working towards level 3, and, that kind of autonomy is, going forward. But then you've also got this, the robo taxis that are coming up, which are fully autonomous, which are level 5 autonomy. So it's a great space to be in, where you can practically even choose like the level of autonomy you want to be in. And of course, all of these vehicles are electric. Many of them are electrical, actually. So, it's been a great time to be in this industry at this point. Now, the great thing about self-driving as well, autonomous vehicles as well as electric vehicles, is that you don't need to be from a single space of field of work. Like, you can be an engineer and work on them, like someone like myself. And even in engineering, you've got like different things you can do. You can be from the mechanical side. You can be from the electrical domain, and you can work on the electrical side of things, or you can be also aerospace engineer like myself, where you can use your different multidisciplinary skills to work in the field. But then again, it's not just limited to engineering. You can also be into communications and work for a self-driving company or an electric vehicle company, or you can be into law and, of course, work in law, because self-driving space has a lot of rules and regulations. So there's a huge element of law as well into that. So so anyone and everyone who's got interest in self-driving and electrical engineering, electric vehicle space can join there and, contribute with their skills. And, you don't have to be from a very traditional career path to be able to thrive in this industry. For me, it was very interesting when when I started, even before I joined Rivian, I was fresh out of college. I was working for another company at that point in time. And then someone from Rivian reached out to me, and then they were like, oh, so in my research, like I mentioned a little earlier, that I worked on hybrid electric aircraft. So I worked in the aircraft field, and those aircrafts were also autonomous. And then that person, he asked me, so you're doing electric vehicles? And I was also doing radio at that point. I was a radio show host for my university for internet radio. And so he said, like, oh, so you're doing radio as well as you're doing aerospace, electric vehicle, electric aircraft as well as autonomous aircraft. We want you. And I was like, well, I don't really have traditional automotive experience. It was like, that's all right. we need people from diverse skills and very transferable skills that we have in automotive as well as electric vehicle and self-driving space. So but the fact that you've got those skills in a different field, that will work really well, and we need people with enthusiasm and the interest. So I think for me it worked out really well, and it worked out for a lot of my peers as well. And I think as long as you've got interest in this field, and then you are willing to work really hard, because there's a lot of opportunity to learn new things for sure. But aside from that, discover new things by yourself. The different technologies that can come in into the picture because of working electric vehicle as well as in the self-driving space. So I think if you are up for that challenge, you should be good to go. It's been wonderful, and I am extremely fortunate to be working in this industry. Of course, we've got fewer women, but I truly encourage all women to really basically just embrace their interest and just dive deep into it, and I'm sure you will never be disappointed. There's so much to learn and so much to enjoy in this industry.
Thank you so much to all our panelists for sharing your stories, insights. It sounds like transferable skills and sharing with women what these opportunities are in the energy space is how we're going to reliably have a future workforce. So thank you all for joining this panel today.
Yeah, and we've had a great time, great, amazing stories. Like you all are inspiring the future. Thank you all for taking the time out today to meet with us, talk to us, and attendees, they're all on the app. Feel free to engage with them, talk to them, and you know, stay ready because we have a few more presentations coming to you throughout the day. So thank you all. We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.